Well, let's get into identity management. The Senate has passed a bill seeking to repeal and reenact the National Identities Management Commission Act, basically have much more refined and standard identity management, and to make national identity registration for all Nigerians mandatory as part of efforts to reform the nation's identity management system. And yes, we're joined by Seun Adelawa, who is a data governance consultant, data security expert, master data management, joins us from London. Good morning, Mr. Adelawa. And as far as a lot of people know, they'll say, well, isn't it compulsory already for us to go through that whole process, get your NIN, register, put your thumbprints, get some passport photograph, and then you get a slip? So for them, to a large extent, it is mandatory because you can't use a mobile phone in terms of register your SIM without all of that. You can't get your passport and a lot of other, even for your banking operations. But the point of this conversation is look at where we are and where we ought to be in terms of global best practices. So when you see this move by the Senate and you see where we're at right now in Nigeria vis-a-vis where other countries are at, what opportunities and challenges do you see, Mr. Adelawa?
Good morning, moderator, and thank you for having me. Yes, this is an interesting topic, knowing that we've come this journey before. We've had a series of programs within Nigeria, previous governments, that has been targeted at doing something of this nature. We have national identity cards sometimes, we have BVN, we have NIN, all this, and hopefully there won't be more. But this is in itself a good thing, in that this is a global practice in the developed world where there is a national database. And if you go to Europe, for example, they have a national ID card, and they don't even have to travel with their passports anymore. With that card, they can access any country. And in itself, this is a good intent for Nigeria. But Nigeria is a unique case in the world. And so we have a Nigerian way, and that could play. And that is just the fear of some Nigerians and many Nigerians in this instance. The benefits are there, you know, but the fear is also alarming in terms of what could go wrong, or if this will go to intent, actually.
Well, what could go wrong? Past few months, in fact, past few years, we've had cases of data breach. Other people getting access, or companies' websites getting access to Nigerian data and selling it for 50, 100 naira, depending on, the platforms. And that has raised serious concerns. So you realize that anybody can just get your address, right, with what it is right now. So in terms of global best practices, yet again, which is where I started from, how should a proper national data management work?
Thank you. Proper national database management is done to the highest security, and that has not been the case if we have people's data already been breached and been sold, and that is all already, a case for people to be afraid of what would happen if they have their real time. Because what this will do is it will give people a real time information about the citizens. In our ideal world, there would be a strong, independent security and cyber infrastructure that guards national identity database, But we've not had that in previous time, and if we can bring that into this act to be implemented, then that will bring some sort of assurance and peace for citizenry, right? So what I know is that to make this happen, we have to have a very, very strong, robust security policies and infrastructure that guards national identity database. Without that, this would be a disaster, obviously.
And it's that security policy that we seek to understand that would ensure the harmonization of the surfeit of data that Nigeria has, and would in fact help to solve the problems of kidnapping, banditry, and insurgency. So what would that security policy look like that will work well with the abundance of data that we have?
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, the security policy would be in different phase, like it would cover a few things. Security in terms of protecting the data itself, making resource available um, vis-a-vis IT systems that protects the data. That is one. Two is that the security policy also we address integration with other existing platforms in the system. Banks, for example, we have BVN banks, we have already. So the security policies we address how real-time integration will work with all this as well. We have telecoms as well. People need to have NIN and all the existing registrations to be able to have their phone numbers working. So the security policies we address how this new initiative will work with existing platforms to be able to make access and networking easy, and also work with the existing security around those existing framework as well and architecture as well to have a robust, operation. Otherwise, it will fail by itself. So the security we address how people's data also should be used in account of this this policy. GDPR is a strong regulation in Europe. In Nigeria, we have NDPR, but NDPR is weak. I'm sorry to say, I'm a practitioner and a registered DPU as well. NDPR is not really enforced. So if we have access to national information of people and NDPR is not as strong as it should be in Nigeria, then there was this fear that data in the wrong hands can go messy. So this policy should address how NDPR will be enforced from states, local governments, private sectors across the nation.
There's a juxtaposition I would like you to do, and that is the issue of data management and broadband penetration, which is quite crucial. I say that for two reasons. First, for security, national security reasons. Second, for election management and for national planning. There's an idea where the country is trying to come up with the census. A bill was, a budget was submitted, the president rejected the amount. I'm sure they are going to review it. And some of us are advocating that it has to be biometric in nature for us to actually know the number of people that are in the country. When it comes to election, one of the complaints that's given by the political class and some persons is the fact that, the penetration is not as much. So using certain technology in a certain part of the country is not easy. So they resort to whatever means that they resort to. So how much of penetration do we need to be able to galvanize all of this so we can stop complaining about this and move on to the next conversation of proper utilization?
Thank you. Now, when it comes to census, we had last census in 2023, which is just like shy of 2 years ago or so. And talking about census 2 years after...
I think census was about 2006, not 2023. It's about 2006.
The election. 2006.
Yes.
So we are due for another census next year. Pardon my data then. We have another census next year, 2026, right? Between now and 2026, what would change? How would that benefit? Would we need another census 2026 if we want to do this now? If the government is trying to fight, the budget around census and this, I can see the parallel. However, I think if this is done well, it can replace census because this gives real-time identity, it gives a real-time traceable identity of Nigerians. It helps the government with financial planning. It helps them with real-time bio data of age group, age range, demography, status, health, planning, social programs, real-time accountability of people, and that can feed into politics, it can feed into voting, it can feed into demography and placement of people across the nation, and also resources. Because of that, that can help with banking, it helps with telecom, it helps with tax also. Now, Nigeria is a country that tax is not so great among individuals. It falls more largely on people who are in the civil service, right? Private sector has a loophole, but with national identity being implemented, you can head count for people of working age where they work, and then you can increase your revenue that way. So there are great, this is what happens in developed world. Everyone is accounted for, no matter who they are. So that is an advantage for Nigerians if we want to take this. Yeah.
And one will just wonder, would we then need another census if we're able to get this right and have every Nigerian in database? And the census would just be an academic exercise. But we have to thank you so much for your time, Sheil Adilawa.
Thank you.
Data Governance Consultant, UK. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll go on a quick break now. When we return, there's something called experiential marketing. What is it about and how can it improve your business, your person, maybe Nigeria as well? That's in a moment. Stay with us.